Hello and welcome to the YouTube channel of mprugs.com. My name is Mike Pana. I'm the moderator in the series of videos that is all about Persian rugs. And in this video, I like to introduce you to give you an example of something that we see all the time, and that is genuine, high quality Tabriz Persian rugs, the genuine Persian rugs, and Chinese made high-end Tabriz Persian rugs. Both of them are sold as Tabriz rugs. Both of them have tremendous amount of silk. These are both very high-end pieces. The difference between the two is one is a genuine Persian Tabriz rug with real silk. The other one is a Chinese-made Tabriz rug where the silk is actually specially treated cotton. I'm going to get behind the camera as I always do, but I'm going to show you the difference. And this is really important because unfortunately there are a lot of people who sell what we basically refer to as fake Persian rugs. There is nothing fake, and this is my personal opinion. There is nothing fake about these beautiful Chinese-made carpets. But when you sell a Persian carpet, like for example Tabriz, the Tabriz rugs are made in the second largest city of Iran, I believe. Tabriz is the second largest city. It's in the Azerbaijan area. And there's only really one place in the world that is synonymous with the word Tabriz. Well, it's the folks in Tabriz. So if somebody tells you that they're selling you a Tabriz rug, you should go under the assumption that it's a Persian rug. Well, this rug right here to my right was sold as a Tabriz rug, but it is Chinese. I would not have a problem. And I'm going to be, in fact, featuring it in our website once it's all listed and everything. We just purchased it from a private collector who bought it under the assumption that it was a very high-grade 70 Rudge Tabriz rug. It wasn't until years later that he discovered that in fact it's Chinese. And this is where I make a lot of the videos about, for example, the Turkish rugs. I have talked about the handmade silk rugs versus the genuine, the machine-made versus the genuine handmade, the Gom rugs. And here is another perfect example. To my left is a beautiful handmade, very high quality Tabriz rug. And to my right is a very high quality Chinese rug that is, because of its design, because of the Tabriz design, the classic Persian design, it is sold as a Tabriz rug. And I'm going to show you also the difference. There is silk that is, there's cotton that is literally as shiny as silk. And I'm going to explain to you, I'm going to show it to you when I get behind the camera, and then you'll understand maybe a little bit better of what I'm talking about. But the main purpose of these videos is not to basically tell you the difference and why you should be paying $10,000 for the real thing and why the Chinese ones are no good. That is not what I'm about. That is not what I've done in the past. What I'm pointing out to you is that I have the Chinese rugs on my website. Clients love them, but they are Chinese and I sell them as Chinese. It is when you start selling something as if it is something else, that is what I consider to be fraud. So I'm going to get behind the camera. I'm going to show you the difference a little bit in detail, and then maybe, hopefully, by the time, if you're able to watch the whole video, you are going to see, get some ideas for how you can then tell whether the rug you may have already bought is a real piece or not. And then more importantly, if you happen to be in the Mideast or you happen to be in the Far East and you're looking at carpets, you can take that information. Again, we have a lot of information on our website at mprugs.com. But like I said, I take these videos, especially when I have the opportunity to showcase similar rugs. And this is a perfect example of two pieces that are very similar. So I'm going to see you again here. I'm going to get behind the camera, so I'll see you again here in just a little bit. So here I'm back again behind the camera as always, and to use, earlier I had a light piece and then this darker Chinese Tabriz rug. Well, I wanted to get two similar, and I found this gorgeous. This is a very high-end 70 Rudge Tabriz rug. These are extremely luxurious. As you can see, the silk and the medallion, the way it just shines and everything. But this is a rug that would generally, I mean, this is a 70 Rudge Tabriz rug. This is a very high-end type of rug. But the reason I chose this piece right here is that it is similar in knot count to the Chinese counterpart. The difference being, I'm just going to flip these around so you can actually right here is the black piece. I'm just going to flip it around. You can see the knots about the same size. As I always do, if you take a ruler and you were to pause the video and count the knots, here is one, here is the other, you're going to find very similar knot counts. The difference between the two, just to give you an example, and this is on the wholesale level, you're looking at, on the wholesale level, $2,000 a square meter, $200 a square meter. Double knotted Tabriz rugs. The Tabriz rugs are always made typically with the Turkish knot, which is a double knot. The Chinese counterpart, single knot, and these are really more like a loom type of rug. The knots are nowhere near as, when you talk about equality. After all, you're paying for workmanship. It takes more than twice as long to create a single knot in the Tabriz rug. One single knot, which is made up of two knots, is a lot more difficult than these singular types of what is known as a Persian knot in the Chinese rugs. But the main thing I also want you to take away from is on the Tabriz rugs, what is shining at you, this is pure silk. The fringes, pure silk. On the Chinese Tabriz rugs, what is shining at you is treated cotton. And the fringes, I'm just going to show them to you right here. This is on the Chinese rug. This is on the Tabriz rug. The fringes look very similar. The difference is cotton, silk. It is extremely rare that you will have this type of pure white in natural silk. Natural silk has a yellowish tendency. I'm just going to briefly, I'm just going to swing the camera around. These are all the pure silk Gom rugs and Harake pieces. I'm just going to swing it around because I want to show you something. Look at the silk. These are all pure silk. Like I said, we're in the wholesale business. This is what we do. You notice how the silk is not pure white? Well, in the silk rugs, On the Chinese ones, notice how it's just absolutely white. It looks perfectly clean, which is great. If you want to advertise it, you want to show people this is amazing and all that stuff. But remember, this is cotton. And the reason I say this, I'm just going to, these are all cotton rugs. These are all cotton foundation Persian rugs. And one of the things that you will notice, cotton is a lot wider than silk. So that's one of the telltale signs between real silk and cotton that is treated to make it look like it is silk. And this is what you will also find. One of the other ways that you can tell the difference between real silk and fake silk is that real silk, I'm just going to look at my fingertip, look at the medallion. I'm just going to swing the camera around. You notice how it changes color. Look at the fringe. Notice how it's white. Notice how the whiteness basically stays no matter how I look at it. Look at the rug itself now. Look at the Chinese. Look at the Chinese rug here. Notice the silk. You can tell there's obviously elegance. There's luxurious workmanship. I mean, this is all very fine, very detailed. But notice how it changed. The colors in the real Tabriz rug, how it changed colors depending on the viewing angle. I'm just going to keep my finger, you know what, here. Let's go with the medallion. We looked at the medallion on the large piece. Let's look at the medallion on the smaller one. And I'm just going to zoom in a little bit. There we go. I'm just going to keep my finger on it as we walk around it. Notice how the colors pretty much stay intact. That is, unfortunately, well, it's one of the easier telltale signs of fake silk versus real silk. But the main thing is I wanted to show you the actual video because we literally just got this piece in today. We had a person who has bought this piece. They believed and they were told that this is a very high-end, very luxurious Tabriz rug. They were convinced by the people who sold it to them. Look at the knots. Look at the fringes. I mean, this is high-end. And everything is correct on what they were told, except on the fact that this is not made in Persia. It's not made in Iran. It's not made in anywhere near the Middle East. It's actually Chinese made. That we have a problem with. But in my videos, as I always show you, my main thing is I want to give you tips on how you can tell. And in this case, the easiest way I want you to take away from this video is silk, rarely ever pure white. So pure white is definitely an example that most likely it is fake. Another thing I want you to take away from on the Tabriz rugs, I have made the other videos where I compare the Hereke rugs, for example, the Turkish Hereke rugs versus the Chinese ones. And the same similar scenario here. Chinese rugs oftentimes have this knot. It's a lot easier to add at the end, but the actual size, if you were to pull out and let's see here, if you were to actually measure the size of a Chinese knot at the end where the fringes are, and you compare it to the Tabriz, you will notice that the Tabriz is a lot smaller. Here you have 1/16 of an inch. Here you have 1/4 of an inch. Oh, I'm sorry, 1/8 of an inch. So the knots are actually twice as long, twice as big as that on Persian rugs, on Tabriz rugs. And that is also very typical. Another thing is the very high-end Tabriz rugs typically are made where they had the leather stripping on the back. This is designed to keep the rugs from curling. On the Tabriz rugs, this is a very common thing. In fact, this is a 70 rudge. Here's another 70 rudge. In fact, even most of our Nain rugs have them. You can see it in the Tabriz rugs. On Persian rugs, with the exception of a few, you generally have them. On the Chinese rugs, you rarely ever have any types of leather stripping on the back. It's just, which is fine. But sometimes what it does is, like for example, right here, see how the rug is curling up? This would not occur if there was a leather stripping on the back. So I just wanted to show you this video as the rugs have just arrived, and I thought this is just a perfect example. I've shown the videos where I show the differences between the real and the fake, the Gom rugs, the Harake rugs. Here is a perfect example of two high-end Tabriz rugs, one made in China, one made in actual Persia in Iran. And so I wanted to show you the difference. So I hope, as always, that the video is of help to you. Feel free to leave me any questions in the comments section, or visit us at mprugs.com. Subscribe to our channel, and as always, we're going to be bringing you many, many more videos as time goes on. Thanks a lot and have a good day. Take care. Bye-bye.